Aloha guys, you're watching GRTV. Doing a special here. Edge of the ocean. Magnificent vistas. It's a super breakdown to follow up on certain videos on money and sexuality and truth and all of it. So I'm going to make my way up here to the nice locations here. Gonna get some more ocean and expression here on my part. So when people talk about different things, and have these opinions on how to best live, or sometimes they make decisions when they're in a quote-unquote lower chakra, and what happens then is once that chakra is activated, like they feel they need somebody else to help activate that chakra, especially the second chakra, the third, even the first. It makes them give their energy and control over their body away to someone else. And people have a right to do that. It's apples and oranges. Some people like to choose certain things, and they are, shall we say, allowed to do that. But the facts are, when people seek things such as pornography, prostitution, and intimacy beyond marriage, the fantasy is that it seems like a good thing. The reality is that it doesn't lead to joy. What it leads to is lust and love don't follow the same paths. If you seek pleasure, it leads to suffering. But if you seek to pleasure people because you love them, then it leads to joy. I like to even take it a step further. I don't want to engage in any physical intimacy until the world is a better place. I don't want to be having quality, satisfying, intimate experiences with my dream mate if there's people around the world suffering unnecessarily just due to lack of basic technology or lack of conceptual elements that make life easier, more enjoyable. That's my agenda, and I recently released different videos, one of them being on money. And the idea of money is that people can only afford to do certain things, and unless you plan it and think about it, what things cost, what they cost in time. Like, let's say you want to complete a project, but you'll have to work less because you need the time in order to do that, so you have to earn less money. So all these calculations and accountings, they certainly can be made. Oh, you see the turtle over there? See him right there? See him. Like I was saying in my previous video, men's penis size is disproportionate with women's vaginas, and it's not a bad thing, it's just a fact. But the whole scene of pornography, prostitution, and premarital. It's just people, you know, that are trading their body or their money for something. Sometimes they're just trading their body for another body, for example. And it's just, I'm just suggesting that it's not the path to joy. Like, it's the path to people suppressing their emotions with drugs, to heartbreak, to ups and downs. And no, it's an impure act. And it's unclean. Obviously, it leads to mental or physical disease. So, just an awareness and encouragement for all people to, you know, if that's what you seek, it doesn't make you a bad person. Like, for example, I think it's great if people want their dream mate to have a certain body type or features. I think that totally sounds reasonable and appropriate. However, I feel like it has to be all in the interest of love. Like, you know, like sexuality. Like, let's say people's sex organs are better matching, then that's, you know, that's pretty much the equivalent of a certain drug. You know, it's better than another drug, and it's not to say certain penis size is better or lesser, or vagina size. I mean, but because it's unique to the individual and what they want, and different priorities and interests that people have in their life, and the reality of life, and that it's not a fantasy, and that, you know, you wouldn't even want to be married to, say, somebody who's promiscuous, or, you know, why would you want to, you know, why would you want to be around them? Why would you want to be, you know, it's just suffering. Because in a society, how can we be loving if you know, you can't pursue lust and love at the same time. That's all I'm insinuating. And yeah, I just have a vision for a better society. I'm talking about no longer this compulsion towards money. This idea that, oh, you know, you have to be rich in order to have children or attract the most attractive mate. Like, that stuff doesn't make so much sense to me. And maybe in this imperfect world it does make sense. Maybe it does make sense. For example, especially men, like whether they're gay or heterosexual, they seem to want to seduce other people or get whatever they want and leverage their money to do that. It's just all things to be aware of, that people do that, and especially if you have a healthy body, that people will want to try to seduce you. So be aware of these things. And it's, most importantly, it's not good enough to be nice or friendly or a decent person. You have to know how to protect yourself. You know, manipulative people, what they do is they change the subject on you. If you have an argument, they'll bring up something else, another argument. If they're trying to manipulate you, they'll offer you something for free, quote unquote, so you then later feel obligated to them, like whether it's a party invitation, transportation, or even something like a dinner. You know, and the bottom line is, if you're engaging in activities with a non-dream mate, it's somebody that you don't care about. You know, your dream mate is somebody you care about, and to neglect your dreams, I would say, is to neglect your soul. Like, why would you be inclined to that? You know, so it's navigating those energies. And I don't even like to think of them in terms of like their sexual things. I like to think in terms of it's just giving each other drugs. If you have sexual, experiences with another person, it's pretty much just giving each other a drug. And the question being whether or not you want to give somebody a drug, or you want to take a drug from somebody, keeping in mind that that allows a person to have control over you if they give you, quote unquote, their drug or their physical body. So it's all things to think about. Want to make life about memories, so it's not about what you're doing, it's about who with. Like, for example, there might be a thought that oh yeah, I want to, this some rich person go on a party with them. Wow. And look at that beautiful white water and everything, guys. Look at that. Magnificent. Oh yeah. And like, for example, you might think that, oh, just being on a nice fancy boat or whatever, house, whatever, it's like, it's about who you're with, So want to make memories with that underlying theme. And yeah, I just want to say aloha to you guys. Thanks for checking out the nice ocean and talking about some wholesome and pure things. And of course, you've got to want good for people. Like, there's no such thing as envy. It's just disapproval. Like, if somebody has an attractive body, great, want them to have a satisfying, meaningful relationship. But anything else is childish and half-hearted. It's not a mature thing. And some people might think that, oh, just because I'm an accomplished, successful person that I am mature. But I find that a lot of men, what they do is they have this complex where, because they're referring to a woman as an authority, as a mother, a grandmother, it creates an anger, just like referring to a man as an authority, like a father. It creates a special subconscious anger where you resent yourself, or you just get angry because you're calling somebody else your authority. People want to be their own authority, you know what I mean? So in order to, and when people call another person authority, they lash out and they take out their anger on other people. Like, just imagine referring to your, for example, father or grandfather as their first name. That changes the dynamic in your mind. It allows you to, like, for example, when I used to use these terms, I used to be disrespectful towards women, but now I'm respectful. Because I don't label somebody as my authority, like a mother, for example. And it's not to say that they weren't legitimate parents or whatnot. That I consider them my ex-guardians, because they used to be my guardians, used to raise me up, but now I'm raised. And now I want to be equal to them, friends, if they want to be, for example. Or if we really cared about each other, then maybe DM or DT Dream Team members. So it's kind of like spiritual brothers and sisters, equals. So what I'm suggesting, guys, is that these older guys who treat women like objects, objectify them, it's because they themselves feel objectified on a subconscious level by their mother or whatnot. But it's not the fault of another person. It's the fault of the language and wording they use to describe the people and roles in their lives. Yeah, thank you guys for talking to me or hearing me out. And I want to say aloha.